Welcome to this new video. This time I want to talk to you about one of the greatest utilities I've seen from the OWASP project called Amass. And by the way, they do have many great utilities, but not all of them are applicable to what I do. But this is the official page for Amass, and as you can see here, the official definition, according to them, is to provide in-depth DNS enumeration, attack surface mapping, and external asset discovery. That says it all. This is an amazing tool for information security engineers, security analysts, pen testers, and even system administrators. Something that I've seen in my career of many years, especially when you have people switching jobs, is that sometimes when they walk into a new place, they don't have a picture of what has been done in the organization, or there's no accurate mapping or identification of assets. And in this case, we're referring to external assets, right? You're going to be doing in-depth DNS enumerations and learning about the different subdomains and other resources that are publicly available. So you can use this tool for that. As you could see here, this is identified to do especially reconnaissance, right? And reconnaissance doesn't mean that you're hacking, you're just collecting information. And then you collect that information, and then you start building your case if you are a pen tester, or if you're trying to do some ethical hacking. You collect the information and start building the case for the attack or test that you would like to perform. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to download it and install it. And on the other videos, I'm going to show you how to use it. There are many different ways you could use this. I'm going to show you and share with you what I use it for and the most common uses that I've seen out there. But by no means it's going to be a complete lecture on all the features that the tool offers. So you can get this from their official GitHub repository. As you could see, I have it right here. If you go to GitHub, OWASP, and you have the name of the tool and releases, something to keep in mind is that, as you could see, the most current version as of the time of this video is 3.21.2, and that was uploaded in December 2022. It may be that if you watch this video months from now, there's going to be a new release, and perhaps what I'll be showing in the other video of how to use it may not be quite the same for that version that you're using. I've used different versions, and sometimes like the syntax changes a little bit. Nothing major, but something to keep in mind. Something that you should always do every time that you download anything from the web, especially these security tools, is verify the checksums, the hashes of the downloads. And as you can see here for this version 321.2, the first file that they have is the checksums.txt, right? So I've downloaded this quite a good number of times. So, but let me show you this. So if you open the file, you're going to see that they have listed the different checksums for the different versions they have available for you to download, right? So I'm just going to keep this to the side. And now in my case, I do want to download the corresponding files for my operating system. I'm running Linux, Ubuntu in this case, so I have to find the executable that is going to match my architecture. So in this case, I'm going to scroll down until I find my files, and I'm going to use this Linux i386.zip. So I'm just going to click on that and download it. So that is downloaded, right? As you could see down here. So let me go to my command line. I'm in the download folder. And as you could see, I have my executables in here, and I have the checksum. So there are many different ways how you can check for the to compare the checksums to make sure that whatever you downloaded matches what's in here. In my case, this is what it should match to. And you could either use the command line for that, or you could use a utility. So let me show you both ways how to do it. In my case, I have GTK hash, if I can spell, which is a super useful utility. You can download it by just doing the app install GTK hash, and that installs and in your computer. So it's a graphical, user interface type of utility. It's good if you want to do that, and in this case, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to find my zip file. I'm going to open it, and then you can decide whether you would like to compare that with the hash. So in this case, if I come down here, right, and I copy the hash, where did it go? Right, so I'm just gonna put the checksum right here, and I'm gonna do hash it. You're gonna see that it's gonna match the SHA-256 for that, right? In case you were curious, if you get another hash, or actually if you change anything here, let's say if I go back to the utility and you change the any character on the hash, so I'm gonna remove that. It's not gonna match, right? But as you could see, you could do it that way. I find this way easier. Or you can come back here to the command line and run the Checksum command, right? And it's super simple. You come here and you compare the checksum from the text files to the downloaded executables or zip files. So in this case, my text file is amass.checksums, as you could see. So here, this is it. And I'm gonna compare that to my executable, which is Amass Linux i386. I'm gonna click OK, and that's gonna, the reason why it says like um, that file or no file or directory or that it failed is because it is checking the it is checking for all the checksums in that txt file. As you could see, I have about 20. The file has 20 different checksums. So when I run the command, it's like checking for all of them, and when it found the one that it matches, it's going to give me the OK, and that's what you see right here. Right, so that is always a good practice. Make sure that every time you download an executable or you download anything from the web, if that's something important, especially something that you're going to download on your computer, run the checksum. So once it is downloaded, we can say, okay, this is the original file. This is the good file. So let me go from here, and as you could see, I have my zip file. So the next step is going to be to unzip it and install it. So to download the file, you would go to unzip and the file name, right? It is unzip, and as you can see here, I have a mass directory. Where is it? Here it is. So let me go in there, cd Amass. Let me get in here, and as you could see, you have the files, the README files, so on and so forth. So once you're from here, just execute the command. Oh, oh, I haven't installed it first. Okay, good. So this is doing what it's doing. As you could see, it is installed, right? So let me ls. I have this right here. Now let me run it. And once you run it for the first time, it is gonna give you the welcoming screen, if you can put it that way. And let me do a quick command here for you to have an idea of what this utility is used for. So let me just make this a little bit bigger. In my case, as you could see here, these are the different subcommands that you can use Amass with, and they're very descriptive of what it does, right? If you do Amass Intel, it's going to discover target for enumerations. If you do enumerations, perform enumerations and network mappings, you can do visualization, track, and manipulate the database. In my case, I use the utility mostly for enumeration purposes. So it is a pretty simple utility to use. And if you are trying to, if you don't know what enumeration means, it means identifying and listing the different assets that can be discovered, right? So that is one of the process that you do, especially when doing, if you're doing information gathering or to verify a system, a domain. So in this case, remember we're working with domains in this case. So I'm going to type the command. I want to make sure, I specify that I want to do enumeration, and then you do D for the domain that you want to do the enumeration on. And enumeration is not hacking, so pretty much you can run this command anywhere. It's not going to cause any troubles or denial of services or anything. And you could run it on your systems. But in this case, I'm going to run it on Nmap because they allow you to do many things on their domains. So I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to pause the video for 1 second so you don't have to wait for this to do what it's supposed to be doing. And once the results come back, I'm going to start the video again. So the scan took about a minute or maybe two. And as you could see, we're doing enumeration, right, of the domain. And as you could see, you have the different, the domain and the subdomains and the C names and the A names for that. And as you could see for Nmap, we have nmap.org, which is the main domain, and then you have the other, you have the mail, you have the SFV, you have ScanMe, you have www, and this is how you collect or start collecting information and doing enumerations, right? So if you scroll down, it's going to show you that it has 86 names discovered. 79 are archive, one came from the API, 3 from search, 2 DNSs, and it says that it has like 85 subdomains. So this is one of the most basic utilizations for the utility. Now think about it. If you are working in an organization and you have a decent web presence. Let's say that you have AWS, you have the Google Cloud, Azure, and all these different types of resources. There's going to come a point that it's going to be very difficult for you to keep track of all of them, especially if you've been working on it for some time or if you're new to the organization. Now, this is not going to help you to keep track of that, but it's going to help you to identify the resources that you're working with and to keep track. I've noticed that many organizations sometimes they create subdomains or they publish or they make a resource, a server uh, temporarily available on the web, but then they forget about it and that becomes permanent and that poses a security risk, right? So this is one of the many ways that you can identify what's out there and start, like looking into it. Another useful command that you can use or switch, in my case, if we continue with the enumeration, by the way, if you want to know what other options you have for enumeration, just type the command, the switch, and that's going to show you the other options that you could use for enumerations. You could do active, address value, IP address. Uh, you could do a lot of it. So I personally use the IP switch. The reason for that is because, yes, getting understanding the domain list, if I go back here, is pretty cool, but it makes more sense to me if I also have the IP address associated to those domains. So what I do is I come back here and I do minus IP. And as you could see, I'm gonna pause the video and then I'll start it again once I have the results, so you don't wait for no reason. And the command is not done yet, but as you could see, it is already giving me results. If I come down here, you're gonna see that it's showing me the domain name and the IPs associated to it. It shows the IPv4 and IPv6 for that. And that's how I use this command most of the time. Obviously, there are other things that you could do. It also offers a pretty cool visualization option that, to be honest with you, other than looking nice, I don't see it as useful, but I guess some people do. To me, like when I want to visualize something, this makes sense to me for what I do. But again, if you want to have a complete visualization of that, maybe the visualization is going to make sense for you in that case. So I hope that this video was useful to you. If you liked the video, just click, like on the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be producing a lot of this information. And it would be nice to get a feedback from people, whether people are listening to it or not. So I hope you liked it and have a great rest of the day. See you next time. Bye.